Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Survivor Series WarGames 2022 preview and predictions. And this is a very different feeling for a WWE show, at least for me, John. I don't know if you'll want to reciprocate or if you feel the same way. But to me, it's really strange because I feel like they have done a really excellent job of building to this show. Every match pretty much feels important, like it has stakes and like it's been given really, really good story and build and everything. And yet, at the same time, as fun as these War Games matches are sure to be, we still encounter the same problem that we encounter every single year with Survivor Series, which is a complete and utter lack of stakes in the actual Survivor Series matches, which of course this year are War Games matches. So as exciting as they will be, does it even matter who wins them?
I would argue no. I mean, they've kind of hinted in the men's that Kevin Owens wants to go after Roman Reigns again. So you figure if babyface team is able to win, you know, maybe Kevin would go after him, maybe Drew would want to get another shot, because I really thought as far as Roman goes that Drew was the guy they were kind of aligning, but I was surprised when Kevin kind of threw his name in the hat there. I will say, kind of back, this is the most excited I've been for a Survivor Series specifically in the longest time, I think exclusively because of War Games. But I do agree with you that the fundamental problem, that being the problem of stakes, is still very much present here. All of that said, I don't want to get too crazy because you had kind of a strong intro there. I would say that my hype, 7.5 to an 8 out of 10 for this show.
I was literally going to say 7 before you even finished. And when you said 7 before you finished with a 0.5 or 8, I was going to be like, oh my God, twins. But then you finished and you're a little higher than me.
I'm thinking I'm going to stick with the 0.5 because 8, that might be a bit much. But I do think, I'll put it to you guys this way, rather than putting a number to that feeling. I think we'll come away from this show having enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than AEW Full Gear that just happened. God, I don't think I'm going to be nearly as angry or what have you with Survivor Series as I was with Full Gear. So I think I'll settle on a 7.5. It's actually, I won't say pleasantly surprised. I am just surprised at the scores in our chat. We've got 6 out of 10 from Foster, 8 out of 10 from DBK, which was close to my feeling, but not quite. He's just a little higher than me. Abel's all the way at a 4 out of 10. That surprised me. I didn't think he'd be that low.
I love that he said not to be a Bret Hart.
Yeah, there you go. Fucking love you, Abel. But yeah, I guess we can get into this match card. Let's just talk about it, I guess.
I have 2 things I want to say before we do get into the match card. So first of all, I don't know about you, but personally, I would be fine with literally only live reacting to specifically the War Games matches.
I'd be fine with that as well.
While I can't just outright say I don't care about Ronda Shotzi, I don't want us to live react to that because I know that it would be toxic because I fucking hate Ronda.
Yeah.
And Seth Lashley Theory might be a decent match, but that also seems like a match that I'm going to have a hard time paying attention to because I always have a hard time paying attention to Lashley and Theory matches, and they're both in that. So,
yeah.
And then Styles Balor, I can honestly say that I really genuinely just do not give a shit about.
Yeah, Balor is leader of Judgment Day. It's taken away all of my steam. I think, honestly, I'd be more interested in this if AJ was the heel and Finn was the face, quite honestly. But I'm not really liking where other guy kind of is right now on the card.
The thing is, too, I feel like they've done a good job of building this match. Like, they've done a good job of basically going out of their way to make the casual fan want this match to happen, and to want for the casual fan to want to see AJ Styles beat the shit out of Balor. I think they've done a really good job of that. But, like, you and I have watched way too goddamn much wrestling over the course of the last 10, 15, 20 years for a match like this to get us out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, you're going to have to really dazzle me. And just to circle back to your original point, I'd absolutely be comfortable keeping reactions to War Games, given that we're already going to have Twitwell in review before this at 4 p.m.
Yes.
And we'll be coming off of Stardom Showcase tonight. I'm not trying to overwork. Fuck that shit. Work smarter, not harder.
I will say, if this exact match, Styles Balor, was happening on a New Japan show, you might catch me wanting to be watching that.
I definitely, I wouldn't be flaccid for that. I'll put it that way.
Like we are for this. But, that being said, since that is the only match that isn't a WarGames match with 0 stakes on this show, let's discuss and predict that match first. Styles Balor, what do we think, bud?
I think Styles wins here. I think you have to show that the OC with Mia Yim, because the whole story has been the Judgment Day keep beating us because they have the numbers game. I think you want to show that they can tip the scales back in their favor once that numbers game has been neutralized. And I don't doubt that Judgment Day will win more matches in this feud, how much longer it's supposed to go on for in the future. But I think it's important that Styles wins this one just to kind of justify the OC's decisions here in kayfabe. So I'm going to go with AJ.
It really does feel like Balor and Judgment Day have gotten everything over AJ and the OC, with the only even moderate exception being when AJ and the OC brought in Mia Yim to kind of try and negate or at least neutralize Rhea Ripley, and even that has barely even worked, if at all. I mean, we literally just saw Rhea, which might actually be leading to a separate feud, but we actually just saw Rhea being an absolute menace in the Mysterio household.
That was goddamn hilarious. I'll have more to say about that on Saturday, or tomorrow at 4 for Twitwell in Review, I should say. But
nice.
Yeah, that was amazing.
All right. Okay, so we agree that Styles is going to win that. Let's move on to our Ronda Rousey match. I think we probably both agree that she's just going to retain against Shotzi, right?
Yeah, I'd love to say more about this, and I think the only thing more I will say about this is I am genuinely happy for Shotzi.
Yes.
She deserves opportunities like this. I think she's a great... why they ever turned her heel, I personally don't understand, but I'm just one fan among many. Maybe they have their reasons. I'm not going to act like I know it all. I just feel like she's got a great aesthetic. It pops. She's straight out of a fucking comic book. She can work. I think for girls, personally, Shotzi could be, to a lot of young girls, what the Hardy Boys were to a lot of young kids growing up back in their time. And therefore, I think her first title win should be special. And I just don't feel it here. I even said when Shotzi was in NXT, I thought that she should have had what I called a Brooklyn moment, because when Bayley won the title at Brooklyn, it was so special.
Yeah.
And you could really feel that something significant had happened.
Yep.
Shotzi, to me, is of such a talent that she deserves a moment like that. Ain't no freaking way it was going to happen here. And if it would happen here, honestly, I'd be a tad bummed. I think she deserves a Mania moment winning a championship, or at least a Big Four, like Rumble or something like that. So I don't think it'll happen here, but I do hope it happens, hopefully next year, at a significant pay-per-view, because I think that'd be awesome for her.
Yeah, I would say even if her quote-unquote big moment isn't big because of where it happens, whether it's like, a Big Four pay-per-view or a big venue or whatever, at the very minimum, it would be nice if her big moment was like framed really well. Like it was like a Money in the Bank cash-in or something along those lines.
Yeah, definitely.
Like built up to really well. I mean, even if it happens on like a fucking Extreme Rules or like a Backlash, if it's built up to really well and you can really feel the storyline and the blow off coming and it gets paid off the right way, it doesn't need to be at a Big Four pay-per-view if it's done well,
Sure, completely agree. Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
All right. So then we get to Seth freaking Rollins versus Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. I mean, I'm low-key leaning Theory winning this, actually, because we had the failed cash-in, and now he's got this, like, new sense of, like, heeldom, basically, where he's, like, refocused, but now instead of being a chicken shit heel, he's, like, a super aggro heel, and I could see him maybe using that, plus maybe, like, an opportunistic, like, mindset now to kind of take advantage of the triple threat situation to win. What do you think, man?
I actually completely agree with you. Look, here's the way I look at it, if you wouldn't mind me just breaking this down from my perspective. You got Seth that's like newly minted babyface seemingly, because he's been getting cheers from the crowd for a while, and WWE, I think, has just decided to embrace it. Lashley, I'll admit, from what I've seen from clips, because I'm totally disengaged with the product, as I know you are, Lashley's looking awesome as this kind of heel. I thought he hit his peak, running with MVP and stuff, and I will always love Hurt Business. You did those fucking guys so dirty, WWE, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, thanks,
But
Vince.
Him as a solo heel, running roughshod and just owning people, because he's like, wait a minute, I'm built like a fucking brick shithouse. I can destroy everyone. And he does. It's good stuff. So I see it as there's some crazy spot here, maybe a spear by Lashley or something, where he uses that overwhelming power. He catches Seth, and Theory being a heel himself, he picks the scraps and he pins Seth. Maybe he'd pin Lashley, but I think it's more likely he pins Seth. And really, for me, the more interesting question to come out of this is, you figure it's late November. We might as well start be thinking about December, and really even beyond that, we might as well start thinking about the road to WrestleMania, because it's right there. With Seth seemingly as a babyface, are they going to keep him that way? Are they going to try and get him back to being a heel? And either way, like, what's his Mania match going to be next year? Because I think this is the time where you start thinking about stuff like that. And I don't see him going into Mania as a mid-card champion. I could see Seth getting some kind of an attraction match this year, but I don't know who the other side of that attraction would be.
Logan Paul.
But well, apparently Logan Paul put out a video today saying that he'll never fight again. I didn't watch it because I'm not about to give that motherfucker clicks. But
I don't think that was meant to be taken seriously, and frankly, if it was probably less about I'll never be in a ring again and more about I'll never, like, box, that kind of fighting again.
You could be right again. I have no context beyond the title.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, he's returning at Rumble.
I mean, we'll
because
see.
I actually watched the video, and the only thing the actual doctor said was that he had, I believe it was an MCL tear, which the doctor also specifically said should be able to heal in as little as 6 weeks.
Interesting. Well,
so
you know Logan, what? He is a human being.
Logan, when he first got... Because, dude, I actually watched that video straight up. I watched it because, like, I saw it, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'll check it out. And it hooked me, and I ended up watching the whole thing. And after the match was over, because he knew he tore something in the match, and after the match was over, he was getting checked out by the doctor, and it was obviously very extremely painful for him. And the doctor said that he thought that he might have torn all three of ACL, MCL, and meniscus, and that was when Logan put out the video saying, hey, I tore all these things. But then he got checked by I think it was like an MRI machine, and the doctor who actually did the MRI was like, oh yeah, you've got an MCL tear, and that's it.
Oh, well, you know what? He is a human being. I may not care for him, but I'm glad he's not that extensively hurt. I wouldn't want to wish that on anybody. That's a special kind of hell. Maybe. I'm just gonna be honest, speaking from my perspective only. It's not that you're wrong. That very well could happen. I just don't think that a Logan Paul match and a Seth Rollins versus Seth Rollins at Mania gets me out of bed. So I hope that isn't Seth's match.
Really? That surprises me. Did you see his match with Roman?
Well, no, because it was Crown Jewel, and the only thing I watched from Crown Jewel, because I really try not to give them my viewership, was the Bray segment, which shows you how much I love Bray, but that's a separate thing.
Yeah, I caught little bits and pieces of the Roman match, and it was fucking insane. It's if we get a Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins match, that shit's gonna slap.
No, it could definitely work. I just don't care to see it. Right. Like, I won't deny that he can go in the ring. It's just I really wouldn't give a shit. Especially because I think where he's weak is that dude can't talk to me. Because I did see some of the promos on the
I agree with you. His promos are cringe as fuck. But here's the thing, dude. His promos might be cringe as fuck to us, but he obviously connects a hell of a lot more with Zoomers than he does with us.
God, I've never been happier to be old. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, just to circle back so that we don't lose the thread here, I actually agree that Theory's going to win because DBK said earlier, Lashley could work Brock at Mania. I completely agree. Seth, because everybody's been calling him the Shawn Michaels of his generation, he could get that attraction match and knock it out of the fucking park. He doesn't need a title. He doesn't need any of that. Theory is the only one that actually needs this.
Yeah.
And so, like, yeah, I'm going to go with Theory.
You think maybe Seth Bray?
Honestly, I don't want it after the Fiend stuff. I think that was the start of people turning on Bray as the Fiend. I don't want to risk that again. I'd like them to mix it up in the future, but I want that to breathe first. Although I couldn't tell you who I want Bray's WrestleMania opponent to be.
Actually,
maybe
now
it'll
that
be
I think
fucking
about
Uncle
it,
Howdy.
I feel like Seth's WrestleMania match is probably going to be against a heel. Because he is kind of a freshly turned babyface-ish.
Yeah.
I don't think they would turn him back to heel within the next 6 months, which is when WrestleMania happens, is like, literally it's like 5 months away at this point, a little over. So, who'd be a good heel for Seth to have to overcome? Braun, maybe?
You know who I would fucking... Braun, maybe. You know what I would fucking love? Now, this is not going to happen. I want to stress that to everybody. This is pure fantasy booking out the ass. I would love if they did something similar to what they did last year for Cody's return and have it be kind of an open question kind of thing, kind of an open challenge, and fucking Carmelo Hayes answers, and we get Carmelo Hayes versus Rollins.
Yeah.
I think you make Hayes immediately in that WrestleMania match, and it gives Seth the chance to steal the fucking show. Because everybody, I think, we're talking about that match from an in-ring perspective.
You're not wrong. Let me just start out by saying that. You're not wrong at all. That would be a great match for sure. I'm more thinking, like, who is, like, a monster heel that Seth would have to try and overcome?
Braun, if they would turn him heel, because I don't even know. Well, I guess he is heel because he worked Ricochet tonight.
He's kind of halfway heel.
I love Javaris' idea of Santos, and I hate that that's probably not going to happen because that match would slap. Oh my god,
Dude,
I love that Javaris.
Gunther, that's what it is. Gunther.
Wow, you think for the IC title?
Yep. Seth's gonna try. They're gonna make Seth's whole character about trying to revive the mid-card championships. He's done with the U.S. title after he drops it to Theory, and then he moves on to Gunther. That's the thing. That's the thing right there.
That could be the match of Mania week. See, that match gets me out of bed.
Yeah.
Because I'm already thinking about the bumps and everything like that, and I'm like, there's money there. There's definite money there.
All right.
So
we agree.
Yeah.
Theory wins the title. I love it. Do we also agree that he does it by pinning Seth?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Just to really get that heat.
Now, we have our only 2 matches left, and this is like WWE being a breath of fresh air compared to AEW with their fucking 12-match cards. We only have 2 matches left in the WarGames matches, so you tell me which one you'd rather have be our preview and predictions main event, and we'll talk about the other one next.
Honestly, just because I think the build-up for this has been genuinely good, we'll do men's WarGames as our main event. Because I have loved how they've done, like, Sammy and the Bloodline tension and all that. So
all right, then let's talk about our women's WarGames first. We've got Bianca, Alexa, Asuka, Mia, and Becky versus Damage Control, which is Bayley, Dakota, and Io, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. And I believe the heels have the advantage in this match, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Let me just start out by saying this before we get into any predictions or anything crazy like that.
Yeah, I just want to confirm Rhea
yeah.
Ripley earned advantage for the heel team. So yeah, we do have a heel advantage in this match, thankfully.
I know Becky's back and everything, and I know that's like a huge deal for the pay-per-view and everything, but I really think the heel should win this here, and for no other reason, like. And again, I've been disconnected from the product. I don't want to be old man John if I'm wrong. We've got plenty of people here. We've got 14 people watching. Thank you guys so much, first of all. Please leave a like if you haven't yet. So we've got 14 people that can correct me right now. I feel like Damage Control has been handled horribly. Like, they have the women's tag titles.
I mean, I agree
but they
with
don't
you.
feel like...
As the 15th person here, I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't feel like... Now, again, this was me projecting, so I can't get mad at WWE for something that they never told me they would do. But when you see a lineup with Bayley, Dakota, and fucking Io, my immediate thought was this should be female Shield. They should absolutely just destroy everyone, run this division, be the control, do the damage, and have all the control, right? So I'm like, yes, let's do it. Has not happened. I feel like they need this win. Putting aside the fact that I think Rhea Bianca is 100% the next major program that Bianca has, because I think they've been wanting to do that for a long time, and I'm happy for Rhea because, all due offense to Charlotte, finally Rhea has a fucking dance partner that can keep up. Yeah, so really. Those matches are going to slap. They are going to be, honestly, late entry candidates for me for match of the year if they get time. I really think those two have that potential. But, Bayley's the leader of this group, and you're making her look like shit. I don't even know if that's by design anymore. Because in kayfabe, look, I'm going to be real with y'all. In kayfabe, if I was Io or Dakota, I'd be side-eyeing Bayley every now and again and be like, you winning? Because we're winning.
We're sitting over here. We got championships on our shoulders. Where's yours?
Yeah, where's your,
leader,
you're leading
in our
us.
quotes, leader.
And especially because, we're Stardom fans, and I'll even give you the edge on this, because when we got into Stardom, you did the fucking deep dive, not me. And then you shared some stuff with me. So, especially Io, given the personality that we know she can have, I'd be looking at Bayley and being like, I'm the best wrestler in the world, and you're the leader of the faction? What? So, I think they need this. I really think they need this. I love Bayley, and I just read what Javaris said, and that's a shame, because Javaris, I don't even know if you're the only one that feels that way. I still think Bayley's fantastic, and I don't know if this is because maybe she can't go the way that she used to because of the injury, even though she's looked great to me. So I don't know what it is where it just seems like they've kind of cooled off on her in the booking.
To me, the problem with Bayley right now is 100,000% booking. Literally, they have her talk all this shit and then they have her lose. Like, that's literally the problem. And, like, even Javaris is complaining that Bayley keeps getting shots, but that wouldn't be a problem if she just would have fucking won the title on her first try like she should have.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's frustrating,
you
guys.
can even
It's
see it right
frustrating.
now in chat. Javaris just said, I'm sorry, Bayley, you're 0-2 at this point. You need to take your ass back to the back of the line at this point. Like, okay, in kayfabe, yes, Javaris, you're 100% right. My problem isn't with you. My problem isn't with your logic. Your logic is perfectly sound. My problem is with the idea that Bayley lost in the first place. Bayley shouldn't be 0-2 at this point. Bayley should be a Raw Women's Champion right now. There should be a hero's journey for Bianca to get the title.
Yeah, absolutely. And my thing is, look, I don't fault WWE for wanting to do Rhea versus Bianca because in my mind, and I'm just saying my mind, I'm like, who the fuck wouldn't want to see that match? That sounds amazing. But you don't shortchange Bayley just because you had a grander plan. Find a way to protect her on the way to that plan. You shouldn't have gotten her in there. See, because I can be a patient guy if the booking is done well. Why not just do Rhea Bianca and then you kind of build Bayley up, maybe even have her win the Women's Rumble next year, and then you bring it all full circle, Bianca Bayley at WrestleMania next year. You could have saved Bayley and you could have built her up while you did the Bianca Rhea program that, we're all fucking salivating over. But all of that said, and then this is all just to say that I really do think the heel should win. I also want to address something. I don't know who said this, but like my heart kind of went into my stomach when they said this because I didn't even want to fucking think about it. Oh, who said this? Of course it was Dominique Adams. Dom, on some real shit, I fucking love you, bro, but of course you'd be the one to bring up the shit that, like, oh, God. Because he's like, they've been planting seeds of Alexa turning on Bianca and Co., especially with the Bray vignettes recently. I'm sorry. Nothing really against Alexa personally. A lot like you with Bayley, it's the booking. Keep Alexa the fuck away from Bray this time. Because I swear that was a major catalyst for so many people turning on him. He's doing good shit right now. He doesn't need her. And I don't know if the Wyatt Six is still going to be a faction or whatever the fuck the plan is there, but we'll let that unfold when the time comes. Keep her away from this shit.
Doesn't need her.
God,
he needs her like I need a kick in the head. He actively needs not her. He actively needs for her to stay the fuck away from him.
Yes. Yeah, I am loving Bray right now. In fact, I've got the segment he did tonight open in a separate tab that I have not watched yet. I plan on watching that as soon as we get done here, just so that I stay up to date with the fucking storyline. Do not do this to me, okay? Do not do this to me. But I just wanted to address that. Looking at WarGames, the heels have the advantage, so the baby faces have something to overcome, blah, blah, blah. I think the smart course, since the path clearly to me is Rhea Bianca, is that Rhea does pin the champion here. I think that'd be a strong image to end the women's WarGames match on, especially because I don't expect it to main event, so you can have the heels win. Not that you couldn't have the heels win in the main event, but, like, I have different feelings about the men's, which we'll get to. So, like, because that's not going to be the final thing the crowd sees, I don't see any problem with Rhea pinning Bianca here. So that's going to be what I go with. I'm going to say heels do win, and it's going to be with Rhea pinning Bianca. Now, I'm very curious what you think about this match.
My instincts are to agree with you and say the heels are going to win this because we need a new challenger for Bianca and all that stuff. But I have this weird gut feeling that both of the teams that are at a quote-unquote disadvantage in WarGames are going to win WarGames this year.
Interesting.
So for the women, then that would be the faces, and for the men, it would be the bloodline. So
interesting.
I think it's hard for me to go all in on a gut feeling. Like, that's not an easy thing for me to do because I don't like just trusting my gut. I always want to like try and reason my way through it and stuff like that. Because but yeah, like I think honestly, I think Abel's been making the most sense in chat. He said something earlier, Becky and Bailey on the same team, GG heels. And I like it's not just the two of them, it's also fucking Alexa. Like I know that Alexa has taken pins and stuff lately. She's not super Alexa anymore like she was at one point. But still Alexa Bliss and like there's one person really on the heel side that I am genuinely scared of, and that's Rhea.
Yeah.
But on the face side, you've got both Bianca and Becky. And dude, Bianca has been booked like fucking Super Cena lately.
Oh yeah, I've gotten that vibe. It's funny that I haven't really checked in. I check in occasionally, but I'm not like, say for example, like with Bray, I'm super on top of it. I'm kind of in the middle with the women at present, but I get that vibe that, yeah, she's in her Super Cena era. Mm-hmm. And I'm just lucky I like her so much because I'm willing to look the other way, but I can see how for some people that can be a bit tiring.
So this is probably a very bitter pick on my end, like me being bitter and making this pick based on that. And honestly, as much as I hate it, and I want Bailey to be a top contender, I am actually going to pick the babyface team to win, with specifically Bianca pinning Bailey again to send her to the back of the line.
Bro, I'm not going to say you're wrong or anything like that. I just want to respond to that with my own sentiments that they're doing Bailey so fucking dirty, man, if that happens. God damn, man. God. And you know what? I gotta say this too, not to be that guy, because I'm really feeling old these days with how much I can like hate wrestling that genuinely annoys me. But like, you can't say that it's a Vince thing now because it's fucking Triple H. So like, what's going on there? What's going on there that you're doing Bailey this dirty? But yeah, I could see it, man. I could see it, and that's really disappointing.
Well, dude, I think we might have even had this conversation on a recent Twitwell in review. I think Triple H sees current day Bailey less as a valuable asset as her own version of an attraction. Like, I don't think he sees her as a draw in her own right, but I do think that he sees her as a valuable asset in the sense that she is a vehicle to get Dakota and Io over, and to get heels over or to get baby faces rather over that can beat her, because she's credible.
Yeah.
And I think I think he's very much underestimating her value in that sense, but they're straight up treating her like she's past her prime at this point. They're treating her like, oh, she's this old washed up lady and her only job now is to just put over younger talents, even though she's barely even older than Bianca.
Yeah, that's what's wild, dude. I was so excited for Bailey to come back, and don't get me wrong, I'm happy she is back. I'm not trying to be like, put her back on the shelf, but like, I thought she was going to have this grand story because she was gone for so long. And I thought the story inevitably, to be quite honest, would lead to her being a babyface again.
I just want to correct myself. Bailey's actually 2 months younger than Bianca.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I thought they were going to give her this grand story and ultimately, like, find her way back to being some kind of a babyface. Because I even wondered, like, how much more mileage does her being a heel have? And then they're like, oh, we'll give her a faction. And when I saw who made up that faction, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, let's eat. But I've been eating like shit, man. It's really
so
depressing.
Funny, too, that someone mentioned earlier about Alexa. Dom, you mentioned this about Alexa. Yeah, Dom mentioning Alexa potentially turning.
Yeah,
Whereas in my mind, I'm like, bruh, Dakota Kai is on one of these teams, and we're not talking about her being a fucking turncoat.
Yeah. That's pretty
this
crazy.
This woman has
honestly,
participated in WarGames 3 times, and she has turned on her team in 2 of those 3.
Wow. Goddamn. Well, I mean, God, dude, we know WWE seems to have an allergic reaction to factions, at least factions that they don't have, like, a lot of time and energy in, which seemingly the bloodline is just all alone on that mountaintop. So, yeah, if they just wanted to do away with it, just have Dakota turn, but that would just make me just bang my head against the wall, honestly. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, faces win. Bianca pins Bailey. Bailey, I don't even know at that point. Maybe she gets into like a weird feud with Asuka or Alexa or something like that. I don't even know.
Foster had a great idea that, Bailey's been interacting with Trish lately on Twitter. Do a Trish Bailey match and have Bailey go over. I still think Trish has mileage. Like, I think that'd be a good rub for Bailey, given that, like, they haven't given her fuck all. So I don't hate that idea. I really don't, yeah.
All right.
So,
let's
men's
get
War
into
Games.
men's War Games match, yeah.
Oh, man, I will give WWE credit. I think this may be the most excited I've just been for a match on the WWE side of things in a long time.
Really?
Because you have a babyface Kevin Owens, which I fucking love. Like, I have said over and over, I will take babyface Kevin Owens over heel Kevin Owens any day of the week. And that's coming from me, y'all. Like, process that. You have the Bloodline, which, hey, whatever anybody's opinions are about the title reign or the dominance or the kind of monopoly they have on the program, to me, it's good shit. And I know that's just one man's opinion, but again, I'm the one talking right now. So, yeah, I'm still really enjoying it. Sami Zayn, I think, has been such a great shot in the arm for the whole storyline. And just how he plays his character, it's so goddamn good. Sami might be the best one of the bunch, honestly. Not to disrespect Roman or Jey Uso specifically, because I've been immensely proud of both those guys, or Kevin Owens on the babyface side. Sami has been killing it. Whatever that dude's getting paid, he's earning it. Because the idea that he even makes these guys corpse every fucking time, you could say that that's a negative, but I just think that's how committed he is to his craft and how committed he is to his character. It's fantastic. Javaris, I personally hope you're right, and that's where I've been struggling. Javaris just said, I'm calling it here. KO is pinning Roman to set up KO Roman at Rumble.
Yeah.
When Kevin Owens called out Roman, when I tell you people the fucking giddiness because I loved that. That was my favorite feud of that year. In fact, I think while you're on awards, which is fast approaching, everyone, I made that my feud of the year when it happened. Like, I fucking loved it. The promos, the matches, that last man standing match on God would have been my match of the year if not for Paul Heyman fucking up the finish. God damn it, Paul. The one time you really need to be perfect. So I'm immensely looking forward to this. And I will say, though, two things I want to say, and then I'm going to hand three things, because the final thing would be my prediction, but then I'm going to hand it over to you. I don't like the idea of Sami and Kevin going after the tag titles. I've said it before. I just want to say it again here because this is a very relevant context. I hate that idea. I viscerally reject it. I think both these guys are gold. And honestly, in my ideal fantasy land where I have unlimited funds and every mistake I make is not going to have any consequences because I'm rich, so fuck you, I give these guys separate programs with Roman. And to be quite honest, for as fucking much as I love Kevin, I'd give Sami the WrestleMania program because he's that good of a fucking underdog. That's my ideal world, but we don't live in that. So tag titles may very well happen. But I hate it, and I just want to make that clear. The second thing, and this is the big thing tying into my ultimate prediction, I do think Sami's going to really earn his place in the bloodline. And I think I almost, and I'm curious if Ashton will, and I don't want him to tell me until he leads up to his prediction. I'm almost tempted to say Sami gets the winning pin, which I think would be fucking insane for him to get this for his team. But Jey Uso said something. He said, are you willing to bleed? I'm willing to bleed. I'm willing to put myself out there because it's my family, Us. I don't know if they're actually going to do blood in this War Games match. I wouldn't mind it because here it would actually have narrative context. Yes. But I do think Sami, in a manner of speaking, whether literal or figurative, is going to bleed for this team. And he's even going to earn Jay's trust because Jay tonight, when Kevin Owens tried to be the worm in Sami's ear, saying, you know what I would do? I would get them before they get you. Jay was listening in on that conversation. So I think Sami is going to definitively win Jay over by helping the bloodline win. I don't know if he'll get the winning pin. Maybe he'll take a bullet for Roman and then that sets up Roman getting the winning pin. But ultimately, all roads lead to the bloodline winning. And more importantly, for my purposes, Sami solidifying his place in the bloodline, not as an honorary Us, but as a full-blown fucking Us. And honestly, I'm here for it. The longer you keep this dude around, the better. And I swear to God, when you excommunicate him, if the first thing you don't do is put him in that ring with Roman Reigns for the championship, I'm just shaking my head. That's what I'm doing because I'm not saying I'm shaking my head. So What about you, man?
So I am picking the Bloodline to win, first of all.
Yes.
And I see your vision with Sami Zayn getting the winning pinfall. I fully see your vision, but I think his big sort of defining move in this is going to be protecting Roman, who will be getting the winning pinfall, from having the pin be broken up by Kevin Owens with some kind of haluva kick.
Damn, I like that.
I think
I like that. Yeah.
there will be a moment where Roman will hit a spear on like one of the Brawling Brutes, and Kevin will be coming over like he's gonna break up the pin, and Sammy will like leap over Roman and either tackle Kevin or hit him with a haluva kick, or maybe Kevin will be coming like over through the ropes and Sammy will like crotch him on the ropes or something. I think Sammy is going to have to do something bad to Kevin to basically protect Roman to really prove himself in this match.
Yeah, honestly, and I'm glad that you saw my vision, but I want to be clear that I didn't necessarily co-sign on that vision, even though I wanted to see it. I actually more agree with you here. I actually think you're 100% right, and my only tentativeness about it, and I think you share it because I know you've expressed similar sentiments as me. I hope WWE doesn't use that as a backdoor to get Sammy and Kevin back in the ring together again on opposite sides. I don't want to see them fight. I don't want to see them as tag team. I think what it comes down to for me is I don't want to see them together, because I'm finding their individual singles journey so fascinating. But I do agree with how you're setting the scene, and I think that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, like it wouldn't surprise me if there were multiple moments in this match where Sammy and Kevin have the opportunity to fight each other but pass up on it. Like there's this tease of like, oh, they're enemies in this match, but they don't want to fight each other. They don't want to hit each other because they're still friends outside of this match. But then when it push comes to shove, when Roman goes for the winning pinfall, I think Sammy's going to finally pull the trigger and do what needs to be done to prevent Kevin from breaking up the pin.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So we agree, though, that the Bloodline is winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
So you're picking.
We disagree on any matches here.
You're picking both heel teams then to win Survivor Series.
Oh God, yeah, Johnny Scumbag, very subtle with his picks. I swear that wasn't even me actively thinking about it. I'm just like, yeah, it just kind of feels right to me.
Well, no,
honestly.
it's a really tough year to pick. I think it's one of those interesting years where, like, for the women, you know, the heels have the advantage. You know, you've got potential challengers that could potentially pin Bianca to earn contendership on that side. Plus, you know, of course, you've got the rumor of Alexa potentially turning. So picking the heel team there is viable. And then for the faces, again, it's Bianca and Becky on the same team. Like, just fuck everyone else, right? And then in the men's, like, it's Roman Reigns, fuck everybody else. But then on the other side, you've got contenders. You've got Drew. You've got Kevin, specifically, especially, I would say Kevin. So, yeah, like, they did a really good job of making it hard to kind of see through the weeds on this year's Survivor Series. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, we've got. I just want to address this very quick. What if the Javaris said, what if the Bloodline loses because of Sammy? I mean, then I think they would just excommunicate him, Javaris, and then that means there's no more story, which wouldn't be the worst punctuation. I don't want to be hyperbolic, but I do think there's more story to tell here, so I'd be sad. I think that's just the most honest way to put it to you. But I'm not taking it off the table, Javaris.
No, I'm thinking too much like Vince Russo. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. And then DBK is like, dude, the story is between Sammy and Jay, so it makes sense for him to challenge with his best friend and win the tag loss and slow down. DBK, I'm not saying that I don't understand that, because I do. I just personally hate it because, again, I think they're far more fascinating as singles competitors. Not to mention, if Sammy is a master manipulator, right, as he teased to Roman several months back, like, oh, you know, nobody plays mind games like me. I lay a blanket down. I do a little dance, you know, stuff like that. You can't really say he succeeded until he's earned Jay's trust. Because how much of a mindfuck would that be, right? He actually does WarGames well, earns Jay's trust, and he still fucks him over. That's a masterclass.
Do you know when that trigger needs to be pulled?
When?
I'm telling you right now, dude. Straight up. they need to have Sammy earn Jay's trust, but then the trigger of Sammy revealing that he was being the master manipulator the whole time and that he was manipulating the bloodline the whole time needs to happen at Money in the Bank. And it needs to, the climax needs to be him betraying Jey Uso in the Money in the Bank ladder match that they would both have to be in order to cost him the briefcase to win it for himself.
Okay, can I just challenge that with one little thing?
Sure.
Because I love where your head's at.
Sure.
But wouldn't it be even more of a mindfuck if the bloodline, because they know how loyal Sammy's been, because there's a lot of time between now and Money in the Bank, because you figure Money in the Bank will probably be June or July, that they help him win the briefcase only for him to turn around and cash the briefcase in on Roman that they helped him win? Because then it's like, you guys helped me do everything, and now I'm going to take what I want. So instead of doing the screw job in the match, why not do the screw job in the cash-in?
Why would they help him win the briefcase if the only person that they feel like he could cash in on is Roman?
Well, because here's the thing. If they feel like he's loyal to me in Roman's mind, because sometimes Roman, and I've kind of noticed this too, it seems like Jay knows better than Roman. We even kind of know it here because he's the only one sus on Sammy. Roman ain't sus on Sammy. But if he wins the briefcase because of the bloodline, in Roman's mind, because he's not thinking like Jay, right? He's like, oh my God, I've got it locked up. Every champion in history has had to worry about the briefcase. I don't, because this guy would do anything for me. He'd walk through fire if I told him to. So in Roman's mind, it's not Sammy that owns the briefcase. He owns the briefcase because Sammy wouldn't have the balls to cash in on me. And it's not even a matter of balls. He's so loyal to me, he wouldn't even think about it because he knows that it's about protecting the bloodline. And then Sammy's like, well, Roman, you're stupid. And he cashes in on him. Because we're even seeing it now. Jay's the one suspicious on Sammy, not Roman.
I guess what I don't understand is why would Roman want it on Sammy in the first place? Like that's the part that I can't quite get past.
I feel like I've laid out my argument as best I can, man. I don't know what to tell you without repeating myself.
In my scenario, where the bloodline is using their power to get both Sammy and Jay in, and the quote-unquote chosen one is Jay. He is, the little oos. He's Roman's little brother. He knows that he's got him under his thumb because he already proved specifically to Jey Uso that Jay cannot fucking beat him. He's tried multiple times and failed, and he's literally made him bend the knee. He's basically broken his will, and he knows that Jay will not stand up to him no matter what. So the goal here is I trust Sammy to help Jay win.
Okay, see, now, if you're bringing Jay into it, I do have a counterpoint that I can make to you, something of a counterpoint. We know that currently in storyline, because that's all you and I can extrapolate from, I wouldn't say Jay's on thin ice, but Roman seemingly has been disciplining Jay more than Sammy, because even when they had the argument recently in that viral clip, we went with Jay saying, I don't give a damn what the tribal chief says, and Roman kind of looked up like, bitch, say what? And then he took Jay aside, like, in the ring and said, if you don't get it together, telling him, like, look, if you don't sort this out, and if you don't find your inner oos, if you're not feeling oosy, which made Jay corpse, then I'm going to do something you really don't like, and that honorary oos is going to become permanent, referring to Sammy. So it seems like Jay has been disciplined more. If anything, I could see the trajectory of the storyline being Jay no longer being kind of that little oos, that kind of, right-hand man, and Sammy kind of getting that spot. Because Sammy has annoyed Roman. Again, if we're going on a current trajectory, I don't know what will happen between now and Money in the Bank. Because, again, I like where your head's at in general. Jay could fall out of favor with the bloodline. I'm not saying excommunicated, but, he's not the guy they go to. They go to Sammy. Sammy kind of becomes, what Jay used to be. I could see that happening.
Let me ask you this,
yeah.
then. Let me ask you this. In your opinion, what is the best possible way for us to have Sammy earn the trust of everyone in the bloodline, even eventually the trust of Jey Uso, only for it to then be revealed that he was manipulating them all the whole time, use the bloodline's power to earn a shot at Roman, and potentially even beat Roman for the Universal title? Because that's where my mind is.
So what exactly are you asking me? Like how does he earn the trust in the first place?
Scenario?
Oh, God, man, that's really extensive.
Happen? What in your mind is the best way to do that?
I mean, I think Survivor Series is the great start. If we're talking about that happening specifically, I think Survivor Series is a great starting point.
No. I'm not asking you how you would have him earn Jay's trust. I'm asking you, once all that part is done and over with, once he has their trust, once we get to that point that Jey Uso buys in, calls Sammy the Oos, like it's official. He trusts him. He turns his back to him, and he knows that he's got his back. It's a family. We're all happy. How do you do the Sammy turn on the bloodline and get the reveal so that he goes after the world title from Roman?
See, and that, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know right now. Maybe Sammy, if Jay gets further maligned within the group, maybe Sammy uses that vulnerability and is like, hey, man, listen, I know we don't get along, but I'm seeing how you're treated. And, you're the guy, you're kind of the glue that keeps all this together. I don't think Roman should treat you like that. Maybe he starts stirring the pot a little bit. We know that Sammy seems to get along really well with Solo. Maybe he would do something with Solo, kind of get in his ear about something. I don't know quite how we'd get there. I'm just saying, if we're looking,
do you think that Roman would do like? I wonder. Oh, see, now this is interesting. I wonder if one of the Usos gets pinned in WarGames. I wonder if Roman would do like one of his crazy demands, where he demands that Sammy and Solo, as a tag team, challenge and beat the Usos for the tag titles.
Dude, if that's going to happen, I will say right now, Jay would 100% have to be the one to eat the pin. Not because I like Jimmy more than Jay, but yeah.
He's demanding that one of the Usos lays down for them.
No, I'm saying I see that happening. I'm just saying if one of the Usos were to get pinned in WarGames, I feel like it would make sense, one, for it to be Jay, just again because of all the problems lately. And I could see Roman making that demand. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see it.
No, you know what? I actually do agree with you. But what I would do is I would have Jay eat the pin in the match in WarGames. But then I would have Roman say, as punishment, Jay, for you getting pinned in WarGames, your brother now has to lay down to lose the tag titles to Sammy and Solo.
Yeah.
Because it's not nearly as sadistic to just be like, as your punishment, we're going to embarrass you by having you lay down. It's so much more sadistic to be like, I'm punishing you by punishing the person you love most.
Yeah. And we know that Roman really is
That's
PhD
literally
in
how he
abuse.
beat Jay in Hell in a Cell a few years ago with the fucking guillotine.
Yeah.
Was because Jimmy came out and he was like threatened. Yeah, like that whole situation.
Yeah, exactly. I like it. I like where your head's at. Again, there are certain concepts that you're coming in with, particularly the Money in the Bank one. I latched onto that immediately. I can't claim to have all the answers. I just thank you, Foster. I'll actually take that as a compliment because I honestly kind of forgot how terrifying Roman could be too. It seems like he's been mellowed out a bit, just being on top of the fucking world. But yeah, he started out terrifying as fuck. I don't have all the answers. And honestly, Abel's right too. I don't know if Roman will even beat Champ by Money in the Bank because, dude, for all we fucking know, Cody's gonna fucking win the Rumble and he'll beat Roman at Mania.
Oh.
So all this talk could mean, hey, if we're just putting things on the table, right? Like, that's possible. I hate it, but it's possible.
Can you imagine?
So I think Abel's.
Dude,
yeah.
I don't think they would want to rush it. But could you imagine though if Sammy did something devious to win the Rumble?
Dude.
To me, that's so much more exciting than Money in the Bank, because then it's a guaranteed WrestleMania shot.
Because, dude, I do just want to say one thing to Abel's stuff, because I'm Abel, to his credit, I don't want Abel to get any flag or anything. He did not say the name Cody. That's the name that immediately came out of my mouth, because I just have to imagine his return is going to be around that time. This isn't even my okay, it's always going to have a little bit of anti-Cody sentiment, obviously. That's why I'm making the argument in the first place. But, like, collective memory moves on so quickly. We've seen it in politics, and I'm sure the same holds true for wrestling. I'm not saying everybody's forgotten that he worked a main event match with an injury, which was still ridiculous and, like, frowned upon, at least over here. But, storyline-wise, that's not enough to get a fucking title shot with Roman Reigns. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Drew, depending on how they do in this match, hell, even Sheamus with the work he's been doing lately. I think they all have more compelling cases to challenge Roman. And notice I didn't say Bray, because I don't think Bray's in that list. I think Bray's doing stuff on his own, and he's doing his own interesting story that doesn't need Roman Reigns. But those guys, to me, should all be ahead of Cody. I don't give a shit that you beat Seth Rollins for the third time, working hurt. These guys have all been connected to Roman in some form or another. Take a number and get in the back of the line.
Would you like to hear?
I would, yeah.
Would you like to hear a list of of people who have a better odds according to Vegas odds. People with a better odds at winning the Royal Rumble than Sami Zayn.
Sure.
It's pretty fucking gross, man.
Oh God. Rattle them off.
Well, one of them that I saw was Madcap Moss.
Oh God, that's gross. I didn't even. I thought you would just keep going with names, and I know sometimes I react, so I just wanted to give you the space to say them. But if you're looking for a reaction, that's I threw up in my mouth a little. That's fucking gross. Yeah.
Oh, you know what, dude? I just realized the reason there was a long pause there that I didn't keep going is because I realized that the article that I saw, the Madcap Moss thing, was actually from like June. But since then, that's not even true anymore. Sami Zayn is currently tied with The Rock with the second best odds to win the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
Number one's Cody, of course. We knew that.
Yeah, and oh God.
But yeah, Cody's at plus 100, which is basically even odds. And so he's basically like 50% chance of winning. And then Sami Zayn and The Rock are both at plus 1,000, which is like a 9% chance of winning, basically.
And bro, like, I'm sorry, because I didn't want to turn this into like a complaining about Cody session on my end, but I gotta say this too. If they do fucking Cody, Roman, and Mania, the story's gonna be basic as shit, because you know it's gonna be about their wrestling families and who comes from the better wrestling family and all that. I'm sure there would be more meat on the bone than that, I would fucking hope, but you know they'd make that a part of it. And I'm not here for fucking masturbatory politics as far as like, you know, a main event WrestleMania storyline. You know, we've been using kind of the saying "get me out of bed." That doesn't get me out of bed at all. Honestly, right now, my fan favorites, because Roman is the guy to win the Rumble that would make me pop the hardest. Sammy at 1, only because I honestly think he's fucking earned it. Jay at 2, and I'd only say Kevin at 3 because I don't think Kevin needs the Rumble. I think if they would have handled him a bit differently and he didn't call his shot at WarGames, he might be a bit higher. But I feel like he'll maybe get a title shot against Roman before then somehow. But hey, if he won the Rumble, I'd still fucking pop, and probably pretty loud for him too. But those are my 3 guys: Sammy, Jay, Kevin. Drew, I love, but he already won a Rumble, and he had a great WrestleMania moment with Brock beating him in 5 minutes. Granted, it was the pandemic. He should have had a crowd. He should still have a crowd for a fucking title win. But, he's not really on there for me right now. It's those 3 guys. If Cody wins, I'm just gonna make that sound effect. Just deflating. My own face and enthusiasm deflating just for everything. I won't give a fuck.
Same.
Yeah. So heels win WarGames.
Yeah.
But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, that was my big thought though. Was just I would love to see a situation where Sammy really wins over the bloodline, and then uses their power to give himself a world title shot at Roman. Like, that's literally just bringing it all the way back to, and then we could even use it in the video package when he said, "Oh, I'm a master manipulator. I'll lay the bed down. I'll do the little dance, all that stuff." Like you said earlier on, like, yeah, that's fucking WWE gold in the making right there. That's fucking WWE platinum in the making right there.
I won in the build-up, because it'd be amazing if he got the big win, but I'm not getting that far ahead of myself. So in the build-up to Sammy versus Roman, I want him to take Roman out with a haluva kick, stare at the titles, and not touch him, because I think I want him to be one of those kooky guys that believes in wrestling superstition, but like do his dance with the titles by his feet. Just doing the dance while Roman's out, fucking unconscious, getting his face kicked off, and that's how we go off the air for the go-home SmackDown before whatever fucking pay-per-view they're doing the match on. I would die. I would die if that was the last image we got. Like, you just got taken out by a dude that dances like this. Roman, assess your life.
Well, yeah, because that's my thing, right? Is like, we've talked before about, Cameron Grimes could be like the next Daniel Bryan, but we're looking at him right now. Sami Zayn is over as fuck. Literally, you could have Roman in the ring talking, cutting a Roman Reigns promo, and that's a big fucking deal. But when Sami Zayn opens his mouth on the mic, it lights the crowd up, dude. They fucking love him. He is late 2013 Daniel Bryan right now.
Bro, the pop the crowd fucking gave him when he got the t-shirt was insane, dude. Like,
did you see the pop that he got when he just got between Roman and Jay when they were arguing?
I think I do remember that, dude, and that was
He
pretty
literally
wild
like
too.
like got between them, did the whole arms between them to split them up thing. It was like whoa, whoa, whoa! Crowd lights up on fire, like yeah, like they lose their minds. Like he's Stone Cold Steve fucking Austin, man. He's so over.
Now, God, this would also be a great discussion for 12 in review as well tomorrow. But, we also have discussed that when you have a title reign like this, you want to make somebody with it. And Sammy does fall outside of our age range of making somebody. But honestly, at this point, while I still stand by that, if you're not going to make somebody, you know what the next best thing to make is? Magic. And I feel like
Yeah.
Sammy winning that fucking title at a major pay-per-view is a magical fucking moment.
Dude, I'm
that,
telling you,
people talk about.
Sami Zayn right now is the closest that the wrestling business has come to prime Mick Foley since prime Mick Foley. Like,
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
every time he is on the mic, he reminds me so much of like late 90s, early 2000s Mick. It is unbelievable. Like, this dude, he is unstoppable right now. He's untouchable on the mic. He is so good. And like, who is the only person in WWE to ever view Sami Zayn as a world champion? Triple H.
Yeah, that's true. That like Sammy is in a pocket right now, bro. And that's another reason why I don't want him and Kevin to mix it up. Because again, like I told you, I love Kevin as a babyface. I think Sammy's in a pocket right now where he can't do any wrong. Like I feel like if he were to kick Kevin's head off, the crowd would side with him.
Dude, they pop.
It's like,
they'd pop
yeah.
because they would know that he's doing the right thing for Roman.
Yeah, exactly. And they love him with the bloodline. Dude, I already told you, like a few months ago, WWE did that tweet where it's like, who's your favorite bloodline member? Overwhelmingly, it was like Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, which was so ironic to me, given that that's like the main tension story.
Well,
Those two guys, yeah,
and that's
amazing.
the thing too, is like, you can even just imagine that moment where Roman hits the spear on, let's just say for the sake of argument, Ridge Holland, and then goes for the pin. Kevin Owens is stepping over the rope from the other ring to get into the ring to break it up, and you just have this moment where time freezes, where Sammy is on the other side, and Kevin is stepping into the ring, and Sammy jumps over the pin and attacks Kevin to keep him from breaking it up. And in my opinion, in the world that we're living in today, in the WWE that we're living in today, that would cause a huge pop, and it would be a 3 count, and the crowd would explode for the 3 count. Even though the Bloodline are the fucking heels here, Sammy is just so insanely over. He feels like the main character of the story.
He does. And that's another reason why I've thought that he might be excommunicated sooner rather than later. Not even necessarily because he did anything wrong, but because of Roman's jealousy. Like, this is my fucking group, dude. What are you doing getting bigger pops than me? Surprisingly, that hasn't happened yet. But man, like, that's why us having this extensive of a conversation, which I think has gone on longer than the entirety of preview predictions before this match, shows that this is the best storyline that WWE's got going.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
Like, they better not fuck this up, man. See, that's always infuriating about WWE. You've shown time after time after time after time that you can capture the lightning in the bottle, but can you get the most out of it once you've got it? And that's the question here is I really think you've got it, but can you finish it? So yeah, Bloodline to win. If they don't win, I'm personally hoping as a fan that Kevin pins Roman, because I think that'd be fucking great. I'd love to see those two run it back again at this. Yeah.
That's literally the only other outcome that would really get me excited, I think, is Kevin pinning Roman. And like, that's kind of my thing too, right? Is like, it feels like we're on the cusp of a Kevin challenging Roman, maybe even at the Royal Rumble again situation. But I'm not like into that as much as I'm into the prospect of Sammy winning the Rumble the same night.
Yeah, dude, no, I completely get that. And I adore Kevin Owens, but
Dude,
I totally understand where you're coming from.
I mean,
again,
maybe
like,
they'll do the
shit.
thing that I thought they would do for the Money in the Bank, but they'll just do it at the Royal Rumble, where like Sammy and Jay, and maybe Solo and Jimmy too. I mean, everyone in the Bloodline other than Roman himself is in the Royal Rumble, and it comes down to Sammy and probably Jay, and Sammy acts like he's gonna like leave the ring, and then he fucking low bridges Jay and wins it.
Oh, dude. Oh, God, dude. Do you know what this is all setting up for? My heart to get fucking broken when we do our Rumble minigame, and I have all my points with Sammy being in the final four,
No,
and he
and
gets
it's
eliminated in
Cody.
like 13
And then it's
seconds.
fucking Cody again. Oh no, no,
Yeah. Dude, I don't know why we do this to ourselves, man. I thought we were too jaded for this shit. How do we still have hope?
dude.
Like, what the
Literally,
fuck?
it's because of Sami Zayn. It's a combination of Triple H being the new guy in charge, and a guy that he put a world title on, the last company he was in charge of, being the guy that's getting pushed that we love. Like that's the combination that's giving us hope right there.
I just want to say this for everybody so that nobody's caught off guard. I am such a petty and unhealthy human being. Like I'm gonna do that level of self-awareness for you all. I am such a petty and unhealthy human being that desperately needs help that he really is not getting right now. That I will tweet at Triple H every day a reminder that Cody Rhodes fucking talked shit on him and broke a throne acting like he was better than Triple H every day leading up to the Rumble. And then we'll know if my campaign worked if last minute you hear that Stardust music and he's like, Cody, this is what I want you to do for Rumble. Or he comes out as Cody, has a lot of gravitas in the entrance, and then gets eliminated in fucking 5 minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna tweet at Triple H every day like, hey, remember what this guy did to you? Remember the shit that he talked. So like, don't give him the Rumble because I'm telling you, Sammy or Jay, Sammy. And you know what? At what you just said about Sammy Lowbridge Jay, that should be your final two. It should be fucking Sammy and Jay in the final two. Final four should be Sammy, Jay,
because those
Kevin,
two guys
and Drew
are the
to me.
most interesting story in the entire company right now. No one can touch it.
No, nobody can touch it. I think your final four, if you really want to make it seem like anybody's game,
God.
KO, Drew, Jay, Sammy to me. That's your final four. And again, I'm not
Honestly,
mentioning Bray and
dude,
stuff like
if you
that
really
because
want to
yeah,
make it seem like anything can happen, swap out Drew for Cody. Make it Cody.
true.
Make
Yeah,
it Cody, Sammy, Kevin, and Jay, and holy shit!
bro. You know what? I can't wait for it. Like, and again, this is all fantasy booking. Clearly, you and I have just gone all the way to the fucking moon,
Yeah.
and Cameron Grimes isn't even with us.
Aw.
But like, I can't wait.
Maybe he'll be in Rumble
if
this
Cody
year.
would. That would be amazing. If hypothetically, which I don't think Triple H would do it because Triple H I do think is smarter than Vince, or at least not smarter. He's more perceptive than Vince. I think he understands and he listens to where the crowd is. That doesn't mean he's going to act on it. I'm just saying he perceives it. But if hypothetically Cody and Sammy were the final two and Cody eliminated Sammy, dude, the only solace I would take is Cody being booed out of the fucking building
Yes.
and not getting the hero's welcome he craves
that-
because of his inferiority complex.
Honestly, that might pop me even more than Sammy winning because that would mean that Cody would have officially alienated the two biggest fan bases in the entire U.S. over the course of like a year and a half.
You beautiful maladjusted son of a bitch. Hard relate. Because, look, if you're not going to give me what I want, at least give me what I fucking need. And that's that little prick fucking not being the person he thinks he is.
Yes.
God. Like, no, you know what, guys? This brought another point to the surface. I hate that Cody's back with WWE. I wish he would have just stayed with AEW because I've given up on AEW now. So I wouldn't have had to worry about it. But now he's fucking back here. And granted, I've kind of given up on WWE too, but you can see that we're still more invested in that. So it's like, fuck. Let me have peace. Let me die. Fuck. So, yeah, everyone. I don't know if there's anything else we could talk about that A, isn't more appropriate for Toil and review tomorrow, or B, isn't
Oh,
repetitive.
there was something that I wanted to say. Do you remember way, way, way long ago, like back in the day, back when I was like, I have two things to say, and the first thing, and then we haven't gotten around to the second thing since?
Oh, right, yeah, okay. So what's on your mind?
I actually remember the second thing. Where did my ADHD go? Holy shit. So
Proud of you.
the second thing is I kind of wish WWE would do something, and obviously, I wish this almost every day of my life, but I wish WWE was more like Lucha Underground, and more specifically in this instance, I think it would be really cool if you would do a situation where the winning WarGames team all faced each other in a 5-way match where the winner got the number 30 spot in their respective Rumble.
I would love that.
And you could even do like another 5-way match for the losing team where each time a person got a win, like a fall, they left the match, and the last person left to get beaten is the number one entrant.
Ooh, I really like that idea too. That's good shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
I think that would be really fun. I think that would add a lot of stakes, and I think that would be a really cool way to fill an episode or two of TV that would keep things interesting. You'd get 4 5-way matches out of that would probably go pretty long. Yeah, I think that'd be really good. I think that'd be really fun. And really the 5-way to determine number 30, you could even have that be elimination. So that like they're both elimination. It's just one of them you want to be eliminated and the other one you don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're talking a lot of sense, man.
Speaking of elimination,
is there anything else?
Speaking of elimination, since this is Survivor Series, are these WarGames matches going to be elimination?
I didn't get that vibe. I still thought it was like one fall.
It's weird though, because it's Survivor Series, and Survivor Series 5-on-5 matches or 4-on-4 or whatever they are usually are elimination style.
Yeah,
that's like
they are. I was kind of hoping it be. Yeah, kind of hoping they would be, but it does seem to be one fall to the finish. But do you have anything else you want to say?
Sir, no, sir.
Well, then, what I would like to say, my side to close, is that this has been one of my favorite preview and predictions we've done in a while, mainly for that passionate discussion. Yeah, and well, I was even getting ready to say that all that fantasy booking, I'm huffing that good copium, baby, because I'm at a 9 out of 10. Sammy's going to fucking WrestleMania. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm. Look, guys, we all know it's my job. I have to hurt so that none of you do. So I'm going to be the one that assumes the cross of Sammy going to WrestleMania. It's happening, people. It's happening. Sammy's going to WrestleMania, and he's beating Roman for the title, starting with this amazing WarGames development. I am at a 9 out of 10. Sammy, this is your time, baby. He's going to beat Roman for the title. I'm convinced. Oh, man, it's that good shit. Oh, man. So, yeah, 9 out of 10 for WarGames. It's going to be just the most amazing thing ever. Everything's going to be wonderful. Sammy's going to do everything, and we're all going to win in the end because happiness always wins, y'all.
We even moved Abel up to a 6 out of 10 because he supports Sammy supremacy.
Abel, this is one of the literally infinite fucking reasons that I love that you're my child. We are doing this, Abel. Sammy is going to WrestleMania. He's going to beat Roman Reigns, and everything's going to be so fucking perfect. God. I was gonna say something really sexual, but you know what? No, I'm gonna behave myself in the name of Sami Zayn. It's gonna be okay.
Related or?
No, it was actually gonna be nipple related, but that's beyond the point. I am so ready for Sammy to claim his spot at the fucking top, and also just completely unrelated. I fucking love Abel and Foster's faces, especially Foster, because I feel like we kind of got his hopes up a little bit. If anything on this show makes you sad, I will find it and I will hurt it. And then I will hug you because I can do both kinds of responses. But yes, 9 out of 10. Let's go, Sammy. Fuck everyone else. Jay, quit being a hater. Start being Usi. That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
So,
now, I just, first of all, I apologize, John. I'm so sorry. First of all, for getting your hopes up so high in the event that WWE fails to live up to them. But more importantly, I'm so sorry for what I'm about to do to you.
Oh. Maybe you could just not do it to me? Didn't we just have this kind of conversation about this?
Really, in the eyes of our viewers, I'm not doing it to you. I'm doing it for them. And it just happens to be that you're catching, strays.
Oh, well, of course. All right. Do it. Do it.
So I know you hate this, and that's why I'm apologizing, because I know you fucking hate this. But I really genuinely do think that the actual real life non-fantasy endgame of this whole story is Sammy and Kevin as babyfaces beating the Usos for the tag titles.
And no, if that happens, then respectfully, the booking can eat my shit and hair. And I think it's important.
Wait, back up. Did you say shit and hair?
Yes, yeah. It's a whole fucking entree, baby. They can have all of it. And no, and I think it's important to be able to have discourses like that. Mainly discourses where you do something I don't like, and I fucking verbally abuse you for it, and then I'm right. So I feel good. It's okay, but it's not going to happen because Sammy's going to WrestleMania. He's beating Roman Reigns. And then Cody's jerking the curtain for the fucking U.S. title against Theory or some shit. So it's all going to work out, man.
Oh, my God. I think you just gave me a hard-on.
Dude, a person that you hate versus a person that we're all just done with, just fucking jerking the curtain at WrestleMania, and then that's it, just getting all the bad out of one show or a bad out in one match.
The thought of that.
But it's we're all gonna be okay. We're all gonna be okay. It's gonna be great.
Well, everyone. Now that we've lost about 60% of our audience, we hope that you all enjoyed. John?
No, keep going. Keep going.
No, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything for the outro, or if you just wanted me to close it out.
No, you got it. You got it.
All right, everyone. Well, we hope you all enjoyed. If you did, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and follow us on Twitter and Twitch. And if you'd like to support us, you can also subscribe on Twitch, buy our merch on Spring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends. We will be live in about, an hour and 45 minutes reacting to Stardom Showcase Volume 3. That's probably not even going to be 3 hours long, so we'll probably be done by 5 a.m. Eastern Time, which is pretty nice for us. And then tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be going live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I just said that. With our TwitWow in review, our week in review, where we're going to talk about all the wrestling we watched this week. Then, of course, at 8, we have Survivor Series WarGames. But as I've already mentioned, and as we've been talking about, we won't be live for the entire show. We will only be live to react to specifically the WarGames matches. So we hope you're all looking forward to that. And of course, we hope that you're all able to remember to stay tuned.